Who knows what evil lurks in the heart of game? The shadow knows. Hi, I'm the Shadow Snows and I'm back with another Let's Compare video. Tonight I'm going to compare the game Typhoon on the Atari ST and the Commodore Amiga. And it's a very early game from 1987 by Kingsoft, which means it's a budget game. Come on, please. Okay, I had to, for some reason I had to press the space bar. What's happening? Am I supposed to pick them up? Yes. Very hard to see what you can pick up and what you can. Take this with lower resolution and probably better sound effects, and you have the typical 1983 shooter for the C64 or the 8-bit Atari computer. Yes, I'm very good in avoiding the power-ups. Oh, that helps. But at least the scrolling is quite fluent. Yes, I'm really good in avoiding the power-ups. Moo. How many lives do I get in this game? Also very repetitive. This is definitely not the game you want to play on your expensive 16-bit computer. But face it, it's still one of the better shooters. At least for 1987, there weren't that many games in 1987. Especially on the Amiga. The ST got a little bit more software in the early days. Horrible game. No, I'm not supposed to pick them up. And I hope the Amiga version is not a lazy port, but I fear it is. But then again, scrolling is relatively fluent, so is the movement of the enemies. Controls are tight. And they really did try to show off a little bit the higher resolution and more colors of the 16-bit system. So yeah, for 1987, as sad as it may sound, this is still a playable game. Not that you really want to play it, but at least you can, if you really like. And that is just boring. Oh, but I think I collected an extra life. Yes, quite a lot going on and no really noticeable slowdowns, and I just saw in the viewfinder that this game is running at 60 Hz. That was not an uncommon trick on the Atari ST to let the game run a little bit faster. So if you could not achieve full 50 frames per second, then you could switch to 60 Hz, update every second picture, and still got 30 frames per second, which was a little bit more fluent than 25 frames per second. Yeah, onto the Amiga. Okay, back with the Amiga version, and thanks to the movers for making a cracked row that is not compatible with Fastman. Oh, this is quiet. Yeah, and it really smells like a lazy port. Holy shit. Yeah, at least it feels worse on the Amiga. Not exactly sure if it actually is a lazy port. It might as well be just a terrible Amiga game. Well, it definitely is a terrible Amiga game, but developed quickly and cheaply just to get a game. And a lot of those early Kingsoft and also Rainbow Art games feel a little bit like that. Rush to the market. Done by capable programmers, no question about that. But either not very capable game designers, or and it loads. Really, it loads the second level. Oh, I think the scrolling is a little bit more fluent, so maybe not exactly a lazy port. Yeah, rush to the market. Just to take the cash from those early adopters who didn't have much choice. Seriously, if you wanted to play a shooter in 1987, when the Amiga 500 was just released, you ended up playing games like that. or worse. Cheaply made games quickly rush to the market, or lazy ST ports that ran a little bit worse than on the original ST, which means no smooth scrolling, no sprites, no blitter, everything done in software, which yeah. And this game is very generous with the lives it gives you. So definitely 87, 88 weren't good years to buy an Amiga. I got my Amiga 500 early 1988. It's still a Kickstart 1.2 machine. And yeah, I should have waited for another year. Fuck. So many crappy games. And even the better games were actually in most parts ports from the Commodore 64 that did play better on the Commodore 64. Pirates is an example. Amiga Pirates is not a bad game, by no means, but I still prefer the Commodore 64 version. I think it plays better. Or the Bard's Tale. Definitely not a bad game on the Amiga, but doesn't play better on the Amiga than on the Commodore 64. I think due to the long loading times, it actually plays a little bit worse. Oh, how could I get that? Fuck. Whizball is another example. Not terrible on the Amiga, but not as good as on the Commodore 64. But in the end, I don't regret that I got an Amiga. Having one that early made me get the contacts to basically get all the games that were released for the Amiga. And later games were quite good. There was no Populous on the Commodore 64. And that was an amazing game. Shit. I don't think I'm supposed to collect the skull. Very hard to see the bullets, by the way. Very hard. Yeah, but at least I made it to level 13 already. So it's definitely not a very hard game. We have very uninspired enemies. Also feels like the formations are mainly just to annoy you. And those boring passages. I mean, it's not as bad as on the ST. And you can clearly see that this game was made with an NTSC machine in mind. The aspect ratio is quite off. But I don't think Or was it? No. I don't think the Kingsoft games were released. No, I'm not supposed to hit the skull. Oh, great. Game over. Yeah, that was... What was it called? Don't know. Typhoon. On the ST and the Amiga. It's a playable early shooter. Let's come to that conclusion. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.